I saw someone on TikTok was talking about they sell Jacob Elordi bath water candles.
Good. Candles. Those
Scented
won't work
candles.
in a bath.
And they're like scented candles. And I was just like,
soapy and salty.
what? And
I want it to be a vial of water that I pour into my bath with me.
not just take a shot of? You don't want to just do a shot of?
No. Oh, no. Okay. I'll get two.
YUNKJunk! What's up to all our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the mother-loving geek nation? You're currently tuning into the Cult Pop podcast. I'm sorry, the Cult Pop Barry, how do you say it? Barry Kyogen? Kyogen. The Cult Pop Barry Kyogen Appreciation Podcast, episode 62, a show where we talk about movies and comics and breaking news and bath water and all the other things that scratch your nerdy little itches. We're coming to you live from the YUNKJunk HQ. Brian.
Hi. YUNKJunk.
A bomb-ass podcast production space in Philadelphia,
That's
PA.
a different later part of the show.
Oh, we're not live. We can do it again.
Yeah. YUNKJunk, Dylan, you can go ahead and use that as your jingle if you like.
YUNKJunk. Hi, YUNKJunk.
Yeah. I'm your tub water sucking host, Johnny Destructo of Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street, Philadelphia, PA 19127. A rad-ass comic shop that caters to the rad-ass folks in Manayunk and also probably yourself, because I do mail-outs. With me tonight is Sam C. up in the chat saying, yo. Robert Monroe Jr. saying, what's up, Cult Poppers? Question mark, exclamation point. But with me here in the studio tonight is Brian.
YUNKJunk.
Noel.
YUNKJunk.
And special guest star Alice from the podcast Inside the Morgue.
Hi. I'm very excited to be here.
I thought everyone.
Oh, wait. Should I have to?
Like, isn't that just like normal etiquette when like somebody starts to like kind of clap a little bit?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Or when you meet someone.
Anytime. Yeah.
When random people walk into the room.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing that from now on.
Also with us is in the trusty producer booth is Dylan the Great.
If I gotta be honest. Oh, thank you.
If there's
guys.
no walls,
nice, doesn't it?
Dylan, if there's the existential question, if there's
okay.
no walls, is it a booth?
I was about to say, I was about to be honest with the viewers and listeners that there's no booth.
So
You're separated by your emotions.
With us at the IKEA table.
Yes.
Behind the screen there is Dylan.
Yeah. But, I mean, unless we consider this whole studio booth that we are all in together.
Oh,
We're all in
That's
this
cool.
booth
Dylan's in the
together.
booth. It makes no comment about our location.
Booth is a metaphor for where we all are.
A glass case of emotion.
A glass case.
Ensconced in this friendship.
Booth.
I like that.
Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification so that you know when we're going to be doing this here shenanigans. Sam says, I met Dill. Oh, shit. Sam says, I met Dill last week.
I did. We
They're
met on
already
Saturday.
She's got a pet name for the producer.
Dill, D-I-L-L.
Is it D-I-L-L or D-Y-L?
It's D-Y-L.
Oh,
I'll let it pass,
Just
Sam.
one time.
How much
just
do you actually
because you
know
didn't
him,
know,
Sam?
but now you know. But
his hair was down.
Yeah,
he was very attractive.
we were
How
at
did this happen?
the
What was
Micho
the-
Mission. We're doing a live show at World Cafe Live, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah,
Nice.
They screened Love Jones, and it was cool.
That's cool.
Sam says, I don't care. Noel and Sam actually went to the Micho Mission starring our frequent co-host Len.
Yep.
Where they talked about
Love Jones from 1997.
Yeah, I say yeah.
5, I think.
Damn it.
I just, because I happened to look it up, trying to go
somewhere
to see
between 94 and 98.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
sweet spot.
Yeah. And
The
we're
Love Jones
counting,
spot.
We're
Love
counting
Jones.
all releases, theatrical as well as VHS,
Yeah,
DVD, the whole night.
for sure.
It was the first time I got to see it. It was such a good movie. They don't make movies like that anymore. As in just like
I've never seen it.
people talking, low stakes, hyper focused
cool.
on actual relationships. It was really good. It was really, really good.
Nice.
All right, that was the intro, and I think it went really well. We're going to move on to our next section, which I lovingly call.
Can we grade every segment?
Hey.
That was a C.
Well, I mean,
Oh, come on.
you
This
said
is
it
my
went really
first
well.
time.
It was easily an A.
Well, you were an A+.
Okay.
The rest of us were a C.
Performance was a C. Presence A+.
Yeah.
Average B.
At the lowest.
Now we move on to the section that I call, what you been up to this week? Huh?
YUNKJunk.
And I'm going to throw it to Brian.
Hey.
Brian,
Hey.
what have you been up to this week? Huh?
Thank you. JD, I recently watched a movie called If You Were the Last.
Oh.
It was
How recently?
within the period of time between a few minutes before I watched it and this moment. Yes. Which was over 1 week ago.
It's a very vague metric.
So
if you were the last, which streams on Peacock,
it does.
Tell me more.
Okay.
But like
Peacock's available for, I don't know, like $5.99 a month or something.
It's $4.99 with commercials. $4.99 with commercials.
Tell us about the movie.
No way. If you were the last.
If you were the last.
I saw that a little over a week ago. And so I loved it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a really enjoyable movie. Very cool. What's that?
End of story.
Yeah. What more do you need to know?
Who's in it? I'm fucking
Anthony Mackie and Zoe Chow, I think is her name. She was also in The After Party. It's the only thing I know her from. Awesome. She's great in that and is in this. Anthony Mackie is always like very charismatic and fun, right? So it's this story of these two astronauts who are adrift in space, and their communications don't work. Their propulsion doesn't work and won't work. Right?
I'm already stressed out just thinking about that.
See, it sounds like it would be, right?
Yeah.
But it's chill. These two, right? So they're in what seems to be a house, right? It's like the inside of a decent, smallish house. And, they like live there. They're hanging out with each other. It's the story of their friendship. Their relationship is great, right? It's this really cool story. And whenever you see space, this is very interesting, I thought. It's in like a paper mache imation, right?
Oh, I love that already.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's cool. And it's very light and magical, right? And they're like kind of bouncing around Saturn. JD?
You say that they're adrift in space.
Yeah.
Are they to like their doom?
Yeah.
And they're just chill.
So they
can't be freaking out every moment of the day.
That's true. If everything's
just
at 11.
try me.
Yeah. They've been there for 3 years.
Challenge accepted.
Shit.
Yeah. These are two of the top astronauts in the world, I assume, because they went on this mission. They're
losers with no lives.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
true.
maybe they suck, and that's why they're adrift in space. They were like, get these fuckers out of here.
They're just like looking at the clipboard of all the appropriate astronauts, like, you've won.
They didn't send them out to be adrift, so they didn't. Right, this was an accident. It was.
What's the scientific purpose of like sending out to your death?
They did, right. Like, we just thought we'd see what happened.
See what's up.
What you did.
What's up?
Like, what was
science
it?
When you say paper mache-imation,
yes,
which is definitely a word now.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to Wes Anderson, where are we? In how like all exterior stuff is like ends up being stop motion or something.
You
like
don't
that.
see that much of it.
Okay.
It is. I could see a relationship, like drawing a relationship to Wes Anderson's kind of
aesthetic
style, but I would not have thought about that at all before.
Great.
The color palette is very different for one thing, and it's used in a very different way. It's like a storybook when you look outside into space.
Cool.
It's cool. It has that feel, and so they have no way of getting home. And are you looking at the paper mache animation?
No, I want to see what else this director has done.
I thought he was. That's why I looked over.
Taylor
his screen.
Tomlinson, Look at You, Nueva Rico, Sam J, 3 in the Morning, and If You Were the Last. So
a lot of live stuff. Yeah, cool. Very cool.
That one sounds cool.
So
Same
like
shade,
probably
3 in the morning.
first full feature with a big enough release.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And so so they're adrift in space, and it's just kind of they're accepting of it. It was 3 years ago that this happened, right?
See.
So they've been there for a while, and they've got their routine. They do fun things, and they are sad about not being able to get back. They're both married, and
Oof.
yeah. So they let's see. They just.
Don't spoil it.
No, I wasn't going to spoil it.
I'm going to watch this. This looks great.
What I was about to say is not a spoiler at all. I don't remember it.
Oh, okay.
I've forgotten what it
Wait,
was.
did you just do the thing that I always do, which is I start a sentence and then just halfway through the sentence forgot the rest of the sentence?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Not just
they
me.
become friends. They're accepting of it, and they have their little fun routines.
Okay.
No, saying it again did not bring me to
What? Okay. What is
what's
the conflict?
later.
Is there a conflict of the film, or is it just a buddy hangout?
It's just they can't get home, right? They have a thing that they can try that is like mathematically vanishingly possible. You know what I mean? Like they can do this thing that it's not about what is happening scientifically, this movie. And they can do this thing and try, right? But it's like, we're never getting back. They're not, the opening conversation is about The Martian, and they're like, they're not coming to, this was in the trailer. They're like, they're not coming to get us. Yeah. There's only 2 of us. It costs this much money. We're here, you know?
Yeah.
And it's this really touching, heartwarming, very lovely tale.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. And their friendship is so great. Like I said, Anthony Mackie, always very charming, and Zoe Chow's great too.
You had told us about a show or a movie last week that I put on my list. I just haven't gotten to it yet.
What was it?
I shouldn't have brought that up because I forgot the name of it.
What was it about?
This is going well.
We're doing so good. You know what? D+. What, I'm grading this section right now. D+.
That was just my section of this section.
But no, my section of your section is a D+.
I thought you were doing very well.
Thank you very much.
It actually made me want to see it. And space movies freak me out.
Here you go.
Like I saw Gravity.
You're going to see what I think you're going to see.
Sandra Bullock,
and
I was terrified the whole time.
Space Camp?
No.
What?
Oh, damn it.
I was going to say Gravity.
Oh, Gravity. No, one of my friends dragged me to see that, and I hated every minute of it.
Did you see Life?
No.
Oh.
I do like The Martian, though.
I never saw The Martian.
Martian's cool.
I was afraid of NASA and space growing up because there's a movie that came out in the late 80s called Space Camp. Fuck you. We were the same age. I thought it stemmed from the same fear. Yeah. But no, it's a bunch of kids that went to like the stupid space camp. One kid makes friends with a robot who works at NASA, and
he works there.
The robot. Sure.
He's on the payroll.
Sure. 80s. Yeah. The robot ingratiates himself to the kid. The kid just wants to go to space and grow up to be an astronaut. They go, this cohort of children and teenagers tour the shuttle, and the robot makes it to where the shuttle lifts off. So it's fucking kids in space.
Kids in space.
And it's treated realistically, so they actually have to figure out.
It's horrifying.
And it was
one of them died.
So horrifying. Well, they have to figure out how to actually like function and land a space shuttle from orbit. And it was scary.
I think I'd have to do a lot of figuring
Absolutely
out
scary.
in that situation too.
I remember I saw it in the theater when I was a kid, but I do not remember anything.
Kelly Preston and Tate Donovan.
Sure. Who's
I don't know those people.
Okay, 80s.
Yeah.
Hey, Noel.
Yo.
Since you're talking, what have you been up to this week, huh?
Well, my wife and I finished The Bear. And because we finished The Bear, which I think we've all talked about over and over again, so it's not worth talking about. I went on an Ayo Edebiri tear and rented Bottoms. That's the actress in The Bear.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I love her.
The one who gets hired in?
Yeah.
Hired on? Yeah.
By the bear?
By the bear.
Yeah. Actually, her name's Bear. Oh, wow. The whole show's about her. Yeah. She is in this wonderful comedy that came out last year with Rachel Sennott called Bottoms. It is a rated R raunchy teenager comedy about 2 lesbian girls who start a fight club / self-defense club in order to get the girls in school to think they're cool and make out with them.
That's all
saw
the things
the trailer
I love
for this. This looks awesome.
It is awesome. It's hilarious, but it's an absurdist movie. I don't know, like the trailers just make it look like super bad, but it's more than that. There are some sequences that are like Top Gun level, or not Top Gun, sorry, Naked Gun level of absurdist.
Oh, sure.
And then it comes back down to just like teenage comedy.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a whiplash in regards to tone, but it's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely wonderful. It's only available to rent.
Oh, okay.
It's not available to stream anywhere, which is aggravating.
Oh, I see.
It's only available to
How much
rent.
was it though?
$5.99.
Ah, psht. Come on.
But $3.99, but it's all right.
It was not PC, but also PC at the same time. It was wonderful. It
wasn't punching down.
No, not at all. This is the
Fight Club.
Sometimes they did though. The moves, I bet.
Marshawn Lynch is the MVP of the movie.
Stop.
He is a former football player that just is wonderful at actually ad-libbing.
Funny.
He is the stupid teacher who's not really stupid that they get to sign off on this stupid club, and he doesn't really show up, but he starts showing up, and he's just fucking hilarious. And this was totally worth a watch. It was great.
Awesome.
I can't wait for more people to see it.
Bottoms. Yeah, I saw the trailer for this a while ago.
I'm loving all these like this whole new group of actors and writers. Rachel Sennott, Ayo Edebiri. I watched a couple months ago. I watched Bodies, which is a lot of shared cast. So good.
That was a fun one.
Yeah,
it was a horror movie.
It's a horror movie. Let's just say it's a horror movie because if you talk about it not being a horror movie, then you almost allude to something else.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to check out Bottoms. Hey, Alice.
Hey.
What have you been up to this week? Huh?
I have been fully obsessed in every way, shape, and form with Percy Jackson. The show and the books.
And the Olympians.
And the Olympians.
Oh, okay, not just Perse.
Not just Perse.
Okay.
All the characters.
You call him Perse?
Yeah, I mean, I do.
Is
He hates it.
I don't think anybody calls him Perse. At least as far as the fourth book, which is what I'm on
is
right
Percy short for another?
Perseus.
Percival.
Perseus.
Perseus.
He's named
That's what
after
I said.
Perseus in Greek mythology.
Oh,
I knew that.
I think JD in like if somebody is named Percy that you meet, it's probably Percival though, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
Arthur.
Yeah. Arthur.
Isn't it King Arthur? It's Arthurian, isn't it?
He was a knight, I
Percival's
believe.
The brother. I'm trying to think of my
Hey, Costa's here. That's my fiance.
knowledge of the stupid book that we Once and Future.
There you go.
Oh, Costa loves that book. I think he's in the chat.
Hi, Costa. That sounds fascinating, he says.
Yeah.
Sam C says, it's amazingly horrifying and hilarious. Does that mean the
Bottoms?
The bottoms, yeah.
And then it's definitely supposed to take place in the 90s when we were all in high school. But there is one girl who screams, "Slay!"
Oh, yeah.
And I love her.
It's pre smartphones.
Oh, okay.
The whole thing is pre-smartphones.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. But anyway, Perseus is my dad.
Oh,
Says
He
Gonzo.
is Greek, so, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, actually, the Percy Jackson series, where all the Camp Half-Blood, which is where all the demigods go, it is on Long Island, which is where both of us are from.
Oh.
So he could be telling us the truth.
Okay, I
have no evidence
About his
otherwise.
lineage?
you haven't looked into it?
I haven't.
Oh,
I just engaged him.
She barely knows him.
I barely really know him.
as an
He
He's
told me he
hot.
was a
That's all I
demigod.
need.
I said yes.
as an oldie, I've known nothing about Percy Jackson, not the
Okay,
books or nothing. So without interrupting you, just lay it all out.
All right. I'm also a little old for it, and I'm going to give credit to my younger sister for getting me into this. So my sister and I have a pretty big age gap. We're 7 years apart. And so something I would do when I was like away in college is I would take an interest in whatever she was reading. So she got so into Percy Jackson when she was like 11 or 12. So I read the first 2 books, and they were really good. And then unfortunately, I took her to see the movie, and the movie sucked. At least in my opinion, I thought it sucked. It was awful.
2 of them, right?
Yeah, they did make 2, so maybe some people like the first one, but we weren't fans. But we've both been really excited about the show because they actually cast actors that are children, that are the age they're supposed to be, and it seemed like a better adaptation of the book, and it was so good. So basically the story is this kid, Percy, he's been kicked out of every school he's gone to. Trouble always has a way of finding him. He doesn't know why. He has ADHD and he's dyslexic. He has trouble in school, can't figure out stuff. He's never met his dad. His mom's always like mysterious with who his father is. And then one day at school, they're on a field trip and he just gets attacked by like a mythical creature. Stuff happens after that. I don't want to give too much away. He finds out he's a demigod. So his father is a god. And he goes to this camp that's supposed to protect him called Camp Half-Blood. And he ends up going on a quest to stop the lightning thief. And
Closer to the mic,
I'm
please,
sorry.
says Terry Leahy.
I'm new to this.
Concerned viewer.
I know. That's crazy.
Thanks,
Thank you.
By the way, Terry, you've got books to pick up. Come get them.
But yeah, so he just goes on this whole adventure making friends who are also demigods, and they meet actual gods along the way. I don't want to give too much away, but it's such a good story, and it's definitely like for kids, especially the first season of the show and the first book. But the books seem to like mature along with the readers, and I'm looking forward to that happening with the show.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I really loved it. I just watched the finale like an hour ago, and it was so good. And they did make some changes in the show, but I think they were really good changes, like making it better for like a TV format.
Well, the author is directly involved this time.
Yes, he is.
Okay,
yes, he is. I don't think he was with the movie.
I think like vocally.
Yeah.
Not. And he was like, you don't have to pay me. I'll write it better. They said, no,
he
we're
was
good.
very not.
Yeah.
Rick Royden was very not.
Pleased.
Before it became something I don't like to talk about. That was actually the joy of reading the Harry Potter books. The fact that they actually did age up as like the reading level aged up as the characters were
I
got
was
older,
just
and I
telling
loved that.
JD about this. Unfortunately, J.K. Rowling sucks now, or she always did.
She always did.
She's just
more
letting us
public
know
about it,
now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something I thought like. Because I was a Harry Potter kid growing up. That was like the series I grew up with. And I was really excited when my sister started reading Percy Jackson because like that was her Harry Potter. Except as far as I know, Rick Royden isn't awful.
He's not awful.
Cool. I think he's pretty cool. Fingers crossed.
How many books is it?
I think there's 6 with the Percy Jackson series. I'm very new with the whole Percy Jackson thing, but I think he does other series that are other mythologies. So
Percy in the same universe?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
So Percy Jackson's the Greek mythology one. I know there's one my sister also read that was the Egyptian mythologies and all that stuff. Nice. So yeah, I think collectively there's a ton of books, but I think just for Percy Jackson and the Olympians, I think it's 6. I'm on book 4 now, and it's so good.
Have there ever been comic adaptations for these? Oh, have there never been?
There are. Yeah, there are graphic novels for the Percy Jackson series. Yep. Faux show.
Did you read them?
I haven't. No. Although I'm kind of tempted to check out the show.
It's a fun show. It's a fun show.
The Jason Mantzoukas is in it too,
yes,
right?
He is. He's Dionysus. He's the god of wine. He's so good.
That's fun.
Yeah, but it's really cool seeing like the modern adaptations of the Greek mythology, and you actually do learn a lot about Greek mythology.
Oh, so it takes place now.
It's present day.
Gotcha.
Present day, or I think the show is present day. The book came out in 2005.
Okay.
So way closer to now than ancient Greece.
Yeah, at least I think.
Slightly.
I'm not sure, but I think
the grand scheme of time itself.
Right. We were closer to Cleopatra than she was the beginning of the pyramids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The beginning of the pyramids. Why would you phrase it that way?
Yeah,
but it's true.
Weird.
I mean, when they started building them.
At the beginning of the pyramids.
Yeah, that's fine.
The first guy was like, you know what we should do?
It's an effort. And the effort started.
I'm gonna need more guys.
Yeah.
I cannot do this by myself.
You're right.
I just think of like the one Egyptians like, fuck. Need help. We all went around the room talking about what we did this week, and that's all of us. So let's move on to
nothing more important to say.
JD, have you thought about me lately?
No.
What have you been up to?
Hey, I've been up to watching. No, I didn't watch anything. I did watch some things. Oh, you know what? We are watching. That's ADHD.
Cool.
Welcome.
That was cool.
We are watching the second season of Fargo.
Huh?
Oh yeah, season 2 is dope.
It's awesome. The cast is
7 or 8 years old. But
yeah.
JD,
Anyway.
what was that show you put on the list about from last week?
I don't remember.
I thought it might have happened.
Shit. So what I've been doing is reading old Superman comics for some reason. Cool. I don't know why. Oh, you know what? I do know why. Because Len, very good friend of ours, was reading a John Byrne fan fiction that John Byrne had done. He's just been doing it over the years for himself. And it was like to continue the X-Men run that he was doing back in the, I guess, early 90s, late 80s, early 90s.
I think. Yeah.
And that got me on a John Byrne kick. And I went back and I started reading one of the first comics I ever started collecting, which was Man of Steel by John Byrne, which was a 6-issue miniseries that came out in 1986, directly after the Crisis on Infinite Earths debacle. And they had to reboot all of DC, and so they gave John Byrne Superman.
They had to.
They
were affected. This great crisis was upon them.
And DC was like, I guess we'll restart.
You have to reboot.
Crisis.
I like that you described it as a debacle. Yeah.
It was quite the trying experience.
Right?
For the characters or for the publication?
A little bit.
I'm sure for everybody.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
But going back and rereading John Byrne's Man of Steel has been an absolute delight.
Cool.
Such a fun. They've come out with I think 4 hardcovers at this point. So the first hardcover had how many? 5. Has the 6-issue miniseries, and then just keeps going with John Byrne's Superman series that he was writing and drawing. Yeah. And it is just so much fun. And the way that I forgot how good he is of an artist. His pencils are fantastic. I think Terry Austin probably inked them. But just the way that Superman is built, he's the Superman I think of whenever I picture a Superman.
Because this was one of the first comics you started collecting. Very cyclical.
And, it all makes sense.
And just the way, like when Superman is flying through the air, the way that he will maneuver Superman's cape in the wind, like if he's going up, the cape shoots down like in between his arms and like covers his body almost. I think for some reason, I think that John Byrne just got the physics of flying as Superman more than many artists that I've seen over the decades, like who've come since him. So yeah, highly recommend. If you guys have never read the John Byrne Superman stuff, grab yourself the hardcover Man of Steel. It is awesome.
I apologize. Yeah, I think it's 4. I'm sorry. 4 volumes.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought maybe I was just missing the 5th one.
I thought there was a 5th one. You know, there's probably like other John Byrne stuff that they could have collected in a 5th, but this was just the full run.
And one of my favorite storylines is in, I think it's Superman 2 or 3, and it's Lex Luthor has made no bones about the fact that he's going to murder Superman one day.
Okay.
And
publicly, not publicly,
not publicly, but to Superman's face.
He's like, I'm going to murder you. This is going to happen.
And he sends all of these people after him, all of this technology to try and get pictures of him and to torture Lana Lang and to ransack the Kent's house. Like he knows there's a connection between Clark Kent and Superman.
Oh, I forgot about that.
They torture Lana Lang and she winds up escaping and hiding in Clark's closet and she's all battered and bloody.
But how does he like? So he knows there's a connection, but he doesn't know he's Clark Kent.
Right.
But then he later leaves them. He's like, I guess that didn't work.
Well, they put it into this machine.
Sure.
This 80s machine.
Oh, is that? Yeah. Oh, I love it.
And
yes.
They put enhance.
And it enhances it, if I remember the cover, into a series of black squares.
That's true.
That look kind of like this picture.
Yeah. It was like looking at a Game Boy.
Yes.
Tetris. But
you mean perfection?
Yes. Anyway, he winds up feeding all this information that he's gathered into a machine, and then the machine just spits out Clark Kent is Superman.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, they actually did it.
Yeah.
Like, he knows. But then Lex goes, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. There's no way that a being that powerful would ever stoop to not rule. Like, he's going to pretend to be some schmuck.
Superman all the time.
And like he's so full of himself that he's given the answer and he's like, nah,
no way.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
And he gets pissed at the person who, like, right?
So not only does he get pissed at Amanda, the scientist who's feeding all of this, collating all this information, but she is also a woman who works for him. And he's like, hey, we're going to have dinner tonight. He like takes her hands. He's like, we're going to have dinner tonight. She's like, oh, thank you so much. I'm really flattered, but it's not really good for me. And he like crushes her hands until she says yes. And then she winds, and you can see her inner monologue because they tell you. And she's like terrified to be in his home.
Right.
And wants to leave, doesn't know how to leave because she knows that he can just destroy her, murder her or whatever. And then in the next morning, she's still there in a robe. So like he just forced himself on this poor woman and then, fires her because she tells him that Superman is Clark Kent.
Oh, she gets fired too.
Yeah.
That's probably,
That's probably the easiest times you get low. It's the beginning of something good.
Yeah.
But I was surprised at how dark that some of it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so that was that early. How far have you gotten in Man of Steel?
The first 6 issues and then the first 3 or 4 issues of the ongoing Superman.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So anyway,
I've never read it.
Oh, it's really fun. It's really fun. And I'm also rereading the Jeff Johns and Gary Frank Secret Origin.
That I've read and it's fucking awesome.
That was really good
for some reason.
I really love that. Oh, it's a good kick.
For someone who grew up kind of like saying, I don't like Superman, he's boring.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Superman stories that I really like.
Right? Yeah. All-Star Superman, which I was reminded of. You remember when there's that one episode where he's Clark Kent the whole time and there's a prison, something going on in the prison, and he and Luthor are together for a while, and he gets so pissed at him that he takes his glasses off and yells at him. And Luthor still is like, You're a doughy reporter. Kent, get out of here.
Yeah. What an idiot.
Did you read Up in the Sky?
I read some of it.
Tom
King. Was that the short stories that was released digitally originally?
No. They were released at like Kmart or Walmart.
Right. I think I ended up reading some of them.
I think, right?
I definitely read one of the flash ones of those.
Superman Up in the Sky. Kubert. Yeah, Tom King and the Kubert boy.
Andy or Adam.
The young Kubert boy. Yeah. That's in the same vein of everything you guys are talking about. Just the wholesome, wonderful Superman stories.
Yeah. So that, my friends, is what we've been up to this week. Rate that segment.
16.
Our efficiency was pretty low.
16.
Yeah.
Our efficiency was low. However, good times were had. So probably a B+.
Also cider.
A-. Anyone else?
All right. Main topic time, friends.
Here it is.
Oh, you know what? Dylan.
Yes.
Did you tell us what you've been up to this week?
I don't think I did.
You said you were like filming the Michaud mission.
We weren't filming it. World Cafe Live didn't let us film it, but Len sent me some tickets. So me and my lady went.
Guess we're not going to perform there.
I know. I was gonna say, all right.
Well, at least now when we're not invited, I'll have a reason.
This will be why.
Yeah, it's not because of
They're
anything
gonna play
else.
it back and be like, "Oh, really?"
Yeah.
Go ahead,
we were
Dylan.
totally gonna host a thing for you, but you said you want to go.
They're deleting the email right now. We're like,
I can't wait to
What
hit
narrative
send.
irony.
I can't wait to hit send. Wait, he said
Cinematic.
what?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Dylan. Go
What have
ahead.
you been up to
buddy.
this
No,
week?
you're
Huh?
good. I checked out yesterday from your recommendation and Len's recommendation
Oh.
and also Vince's recommendation. Blue-Eyed Samurai.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's really good, right?
Everyone
It's
keeps talking about
badass.
it.
It's
You've talked
badass.
about it.
Just
Very.
dive in. It's worth it.
Cool.
It's
Okay.
worth
Yeah.
it.
Check
it out.
Yeah. So that's what I've been up to. And it was
Did you
pretty
finish
cool.
it?
No, I'm like only like 2 episodes in.
Oh,
wow.
It's
There's
yeah,
more.
the first
Oh, yeah.
episode was
There's
badass.
more.
Like 6 of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Did
wait.
you know
Just
there's
wait.
more?
Yeah, no spoiler, but there's like some more episodes.
And I hope some more things happen.
No
in them.
spoilers. You're not finished with it.
What? There's more work ahead
It's
to
true.
be done.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
right.
glad you're watching it, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I
I've been
like
trying to
it.
get as
Yeah.
many people to know about that show as possible.
I'm
so
all in on it. It's awesome.
I mean, I know about it.
Very cool.
just watch it.
Same.
That-
I haven't
it
watched
worked.
it yet either, but I know about it.
Like,
I
I'm
know it's
aware
good.
it exists. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know
That's
what we
all
should
you
do
wanted.
next week?
Talk about Saltburn.
Oh, right. Yeah, twice again.
Because you loved it so
Again.
much.
Yeah.
All right, main topic time. Saltburn is the movie that we all sat down and watched separately to discuss. Written and directed by Emerald Fennell, starring Barry Keoghan, Jacob Elordi, Rosamund Pike, and Richard E. Grant.
Can I just say, whenever I see Richard Grant in absolutely anything, my first thought, and I always say it out loud to Costa, who's heard it a million times by now, oh, hey, it's the dad from The Little Vampire. Anybody see that movie
What's
in
The Little
2000?
I'm
Vampire?
aware of it, but I haven't
Oh my
seen
God, it was the cutest movie. With
That is my girlfriend's favorite
it.
movie.
Really? Wow.
And
Jonathan
you guys
Ricks
should
is
talk.
a
it's a
little-
Disney movie, right?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and she can't find it anywhere.
Oh my God,
And
I bought it on
whenever
Amazon,
she
I think.
finds somebody who also has an affinity for it, it's
Oh.
like kindred souls. That's her favorite. It's her favorite thing.
It's
nuts.
incredible.
Yeah.
I thought I was the only one. Without a doubt, whenever I see Richard Grant in anything, that's the first thing I say.
I didn't even know.
And
he was
Costa's
in
like,
that.
you know
That's
he's done
funny.
other things, right? I'm like, nope,
Nope.
this is
Oh,
it.
no, okay.
Nothing
Is that
the
the
vampire
only?
dad.
Is he the only actor that you did that for?
Yeah,
Or is it,
literally.
okay.
Nobody else in that movie. There are other
No, in
actors.
any movie,
What
I
do you
mean.
know
Oh yeah,
Richard
no,
Grant?
hey, he's the only actor I ever
Oh, is he in
recognized.
Logan? He's okay. So Richard E. Grant is just one of those guys that I see and I go,
Yeah.
"Hey, that guy."
Okay, Loki.
Well,
One
now
of
you
the
can say
Lokis.
it's that guy
I-
from Little. Oh yeah, he's in
I-
Loki.
Yeah.
He's in
Little
Loki?
Vamp-
He's a
I-
Loki.
Yes.
He's the older Loki.
Yeah, I associate him with
right.
Hudson Hawk.
Oh my God!
And
Wow.
he's
Him and Sandra Bernhard are the bad guys, and I
He's
just
in
I
some Star Wars
hear
too.
him. Yeah,
Is
he's
it?
in Skywalker,
Yeah.
Rise of Skywalker.
Wow.
Huh?
I hear him in my head say Buffy Ball, like Ball Buffy. Like, do you remember they shoot the
Nope.
tennis ball and the
What movie
dog
is this?
dies?
Oh my God, no.
Aw.
I got
Comedy.
that.
Oh.
So anyway,
Hudson Hawk.
Sorry, I got us on a tangent.
Richard E.
So
Grant.
anyway, The Little Vampire is about a lonely American boy living in Scotland. He makes a new best friend, a fellow 9-year-old who happens to be a vampire.
And they
Here's what I
drink-
thought about that
They
movie.
drink. Wait,
From what I've heard,
speaking of
Richard E. Grant
vampires,
is
Oh no, don't do it.
oh,
Yeah, speaking of vampires, Richard E. Grant
that
has this
brings
to
us
say.
right
What?
back to
it's super segue to Saltburn, which is about
Distraught by his classmate Oliver's unfortunate living situation, Felix, a rich student, invites him over to his estate. Soon, a series of horrifying events engulf Felix's family. All right. And Constance says, Costa. I keep saying Constantinos.
Yeah.
Costa says, Little Vampire. He's
Yeah.
also in Star Wars. Did any of us know anything about this movie? Did we watch any trailers before watching this movie?
Yeah.
I didn't.
I
I did.
had, unfortunately, the bathtub scene spoiled for me.
Oh no!
And I was still so unprepared for it.
Yeah.
the pivotal scene.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you
spoiler.
just know? Were you spoiled like in that there was one, but you didn't know what was
Yeah,
going to
there is a
happen?
bathtub
I
Or
was-
like get
I
ready because it's
knew-
crazy.
I kind of, it was
Yeah.
kind of more that because I saw someone on TikTok was talking about they sell Jacob Elordi bath water candles.
Good. Candles. Those
Scented
won't work
candles.
in a bath.
And they're like scented candles. And I was just like,
soapy and salty?
what? And
I want
then
it to be a vial of water that I pour into my bath with me.
not just take a
don't-
shot of? You
Yeah.
don't want to just take a shot of?
Felix, yeah.
No.
Okay.
Oh, no. Okay. I'll get two.
Yeah, so I saw that and I was like, what? And then I unfortunately read the comments and I found out what happened with the bathwater. And
Gotcha.
then I tried to avoid any other spoilers.
All right. Well, speaking of spoilers,
What a weird
we're
way to
not
get a
going.
spoiler.
Sorry,
we're not
I know.
going to spoil it, except for that.
Not yet.
Sorry.
So yeah, we're gonna give our overall views of the film, and then when it's time to spoil, we will let you know the spoilers will be starting. So feel free to join us. I know a lot of people probably haven't seen Saltburn, although it's out in the ether. It's in the zeitgeist. People are talking about it.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I knew about it. Like, I every year all these movies come out towards the end of the year. A bunch of movies just get like drop loaded for award season. Drop loaded, is that a thing?
Yeah, that's cool.
Sure.
I've drop loaded before.
I'm on film Twitter. I'm on film Twitter. A lot of people were talking about it before it even came out, and then all of a sudden, there were a million memes immediately about bathtubs but there was no context for them. Just that it was gross and a tub, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I knew about it, and then there's a couple of people that I follow that obsessively were talking about Saltburn. Like, you either get Saltburn or you're dumb. Or no, you get Saltburn, or I don't want to talk to you.
Or you get salt burned.
Oh, damn.
To a comedic effect of like Saltburn is the new religion. Saltburn.
Yeah.
So I knew that it was like in the zeitgeist. And then I did watch a trailer, and the trailer doesn't spoil anything. However, all of the stupid pull quotes from critics spoil things.
Oh yeah,
in the fucking trailer.
Oh,
so I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, there's a whole thing. I'll talk about it.
Well, because
I like it in the end when this happens.
No, it's
this part was so cool.
It's you know what? It's more nebulous and nefarious than that, to be honest with you. And we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
in the spoilers.
Yeah.
Circle back to that.
Yeah.
So I also the director
Emerald Fennell
did what?
I don't know.
Oh, nothing.
Oh, sure. I'll do
nothing that you know about.
Research.
Oh, you're fine. So yeah, I went into this completely blind. I had no idea what was happening because I covered my eyes the whole time, and I was just like, I don't know what's happening.
For how long before you watched the movie? 2 hours.
Minutes, yeah. But I have to say that when all is said and done, we sat there and went,
Yeah. I'm still doing
that happened.
Yeah.
Was sort of what my wife finally perked up and said.
There was an experience that occurred.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It was a shared experience.
A mood.
But I think I liked it.
Yes.
I'm still piecing together my thoughts and feelings about the movie. I think aesthetically, the cinematography, the soundtrack,
soundtrack was so good.
Right?
Yeah.
The blocking, like everything was just, promising young woman. Of course, that makes sense.
She was and
I already knew that too.
She's also an actress and a writer on a bunch of other stuff, but she was Midge in Barbie.
Yes,
I knew
that too. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's right.
When Killing Eve.
She's a writer on Killing Eve.
Killing Eve is a great show. So man, that all tracks. Great.
Mila Parker Bowles in The Crown. I knew that.
What did you think, Brian?
This was before I get into that. You remember last week I mentioned the movie I saw, Self-Reliance.
That's the movie.
Oh, right.
That's the movie that's on my queue.
Oh, it's really good. It's really good. It's cool. It's a good movie.
Got it down, everyone.
Yeah, we're done.
We did it.
I got to go watch
That was
Self-Reliance.
the aim of this whole podcast for the last 14 years.
Yeah.
I said like, that felt like you're in a story, like they're telling you a story, and I compared it to The Green Knight in that way, that kind of feel. And this, I feel, had a similar vibe, right? That it wasn't just I'm watching these things happen. It was almost a remove from the events in a way that it felt like you're at a little bit of a distance, like it is a story. And I think a lot of that was to do with the opening credits, the whole, mood that they portrayed, but the opening credits were in this almost like medieval story kind of font. And it was really cool.
With the gold laden text and illustrations and everything, which is very cool.
Yeah. And it's a larger than life for many, many people kind of thing, and a world that is happening and weird stuff and all that. So
it's also set up, like, to your point, it's also set up in oratory style. Like the movie starts with him recanting the events. So we know from jump this is going to be, he's your narrator and it's previous events. And then he also speaks about the main character in past tense.
Yes, immediately.
So like, right off the bat, there's something, and then it makes it feel more like a storytelling experience as opposed to a narrative you just kind of sit with.
Yeah. So in general, I really liked it. I liked not in a way that I like most things that I like, but
I get it.
Yeah.
I like that phrasing. Yeah. I get it.
But afterwards, by the end, I was like, that was really cool. I liked that feel.
Yeah.
For that amount of time. That was cool. That was a good story. I could have done a little longer. But, I loved the set pieces, the cinematography, the weirdness, and the kind of grandeur, but something more going on to it than that. Well, I was going to make a comment, but it might make it a little spoilery, so I'm not going to do that.
It's like the facsimile of grandeur. Yeah. Like they are opulent and rich, but so wildly surface level. Like the way that
they got standard movie rich people problems, for sure.
But like, I mean, even the way that Richard E. Grant and Rosamund Pike kind of just like respond to all things is just a hair away from being completely absurd and comical.
It's heightened.
Yeah, very heightened.
It's not so much that it's not like believable.
Right.
Way. Like
it's not like a madcap, not madcap, but a satire.
Yeah, the movie kind of keeps you at arm's length, but without like going off the rails, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, very deftly done.
As we were watching it, I remember pausing it for just a second and going back for just a hair. Because there's a scene where you first are introduced to Saltburn, the interior, right? Like the two characters are walking through, and you see a chandelier, and the camera is up, like the bird's eye view, right, down, and there's a chandelier just to the left of the screen, and as it passes by, and I went, "Oh yeah, that's fly paper." So there's like, I think it's.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. I think just a visual representation of that whole family in one shot is a beautiful, gorgeous chandelier. Yeah. And then there's a fly paper that's just spooled out and there's covered in flies.
And the problem is solved, but present.
Yes.
Visible.
Yeah. So anyway,
out of sight.
So you enjoyed the film?
I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
I really liked it. You know, it's a story that takes place in the real world, which can sometimes be a hard sell for me.
In the real world of what, 2006?
2006,
yeah. I think they specifically say, right?
Yeah. There's like a banner.
Yeah, but which is kind of untrue. Even when I watch a movie that takes place in the real world, I often like it. I just don't usually go to that. And this has a kind of a weird vibe. So, but anyway, I loved it. I thought it was great. Awesome. Yeah.
Alice.
I think I liked it. Yeah. I think I liked it. It's definitely been on my mind since I've watched it. And I keep looking up things about it and wanting to know more. So I think I liked it over. I don't want to get spoiled.
Oh, the spoiler. Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to get spoiled.
I watched a whole, it's probably about an hour video from Screen Crush, which like all the different references and stuff you missed. And so,
some of them were Greek mythology references, which I was heightened to because of Percy Jackson. But I'm just going to bring it all back.
Nice.
When they read and discuss Percy Jackson. That's an interesting scene.
This was 2006. The second book had come out.
I thought the half-hour scene of the book club they did on Percy Jackson was out of nowhere.
We're dropping hints like it was a new book.
A 5,000 word article about the companion pieces that are Percy Jackson as well as Saltburn. And you shouldn't,
yeah, because Percy Jackson ends up making Saltburn references
you read
ahead of its time.
You read book 1 and 2, then Saltburn.
Yeah.
The first hour of Saltburn. Then you go read book 3, 4, 5, listen to the soundtrack of Saltburn, and then finish Saltburn. It's a whole fucking thing that's
the way you must do it.
It is what it is.
Very Graham Morrison.
You're right. That's the way I did it.
Super gods, all the way.
Yeah, so I think I liked it. I definitely had the same reaction as you at the end where I was like, well, that was a movie.
That was a film.
That was a movie that I just watched. Let me see how I feel about it. But the more I sat with it, I think I did like it because it definitely kept me on my toes.
Yeah, for sure.
Costa says it's all Greek to me, which is funny because he is Greek.
So you understood it?
Yeah. So you get it?
Do you speak Greek? Does he speak Greek?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Fantastic.
More than me.
Enough to get by in a movie like Saltburn?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I liked it.
Okay.
I definitely thought the cinematography was really well shot. It's just beautiful. Some of the shots and like the colors.
Oh,
some of the colors. The set dressing was awesome.
There's one scene I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about spoilers now. That like the colors were just so vibrant. It like shocked me when the scene first happened. But I won't do.
Was that color red?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
One of the big ones.
Yes, I know.
I liked it.
Question mark. Comma.
But I wish it was like a 5-hour miniseries.
Oh,
longer.
Ooh.
You want more? Okay.
Because
more salt, more burn.
Because the fuck me. I wish it was like 4 or 5 episodes because there's The second half of the movie is incongruous to the first half of the movie in regards to like how quickly they become different.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the weird vibe of the first half as well as the weird vibe of the second half. I just wanted there to be more breathing room for it to kind of like really shock.
Yeah.
As opposed to just fucking
overnight.
Go hard. Yeah, overnight.
Literally overnight. Yeah.
And I know that like time passes in the movie. Are you dying? Are you okay?
We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aren't
Stay
we
tuned.
We're all dying a little bit.
I don't know yet.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I wanted it to breathe more because like as much as I didn't like some people and liked other people and was fascinated, like it was engrossed the whole time.
Yeah.
I think my favorite character was poor dear Pamela.
Oh,
Right?
poor dear Pamela.
Oh,
Carey Mulligan.
right. Carey Mulligan.
Who was on Doctor Who? I was like, oh
yeah.
As in
Blink.
one of Blink.
Yeah. But she's just there.
And then
she desperately wants to be there and tells all these fantastical stories, and then all of a sudden she's not.
Yeah.
And not.
But
I wanted things.
I think that played a big part in what was happening in the story, like the fact, and let you know about the type of people you're dealing with that happened so abruptly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, there's a purpose for it all, but I'm talking about there was so many like
you just enjoyed it.
Yeah, there were so many like little things that I wanted to sit with, and it wasn't the like weird twists and shocking turns. It was the
characters,
and all the like the. I think my favorite was the stupid montage of them just having like 5 or 6 summer days together.
Yeah.
Yes. And then all the college stuff, like
to the speaking of the music earlier, and that scene, the music is very on the nose.
So on the nose.
What, Faded to Pretend by MGMT during that scene?
Yeah. It was all early aughts pop music. Yeah, it was all early aughts pop music.
But the lyrics from the songs chosen are telling you they're telling you things about the story as you're watching it.
Do you remember any
which
of
I
it?
can't tell if I like or not.
Well, I mean, you know what?
I did not notice it.
In a lesser experience, it probably would have been like really fucking annoying. Like, that's obviously the song you choose. Great.
Yeah.
But because everything was so like interesting and charming and
dreamy,
and dreamy, and very, very pretty. Like, the movie's beautiful. There's a point when the movie changes, and I wanted that to breathe a little bit more because by the time you get to the end and they go, flashback style reveal stuff, I rolled my eyes a little bit. I was like, I almost would rather not know that and just kind of like keep breathing with it. Yeah. But,
right on.
But no, it was totally
Well, wanting more of it is certainly not a bad critique.
Yeah.
And I'll never rewatch this.
Yeah, sure.
Is this one of, so there is a slate of films that I absolutely adore, but will only watch once or twice. Requiem for a Dream, Dancer in the Dark starring Bjork.
But that's because those are
harrowing.
Yeah, those are guttural experiences.
It's the Joker for me. I'll never watch that movie again.
Oh yeah, the Joker?
I'll never watch that again.
This isn't that. It's just you're like, it was fine.
Yeah, it was just
not a revisit.
No.
Okay.
I don't need to I don't feel the need to like really explore or study this world.
Okay.
I just wish I had more time in it for my one visit.
More new stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, right on. I think I'm very happy with the length of this film. I'm good. I don't need to go have a mini series about it. I think I got what I needed out of this one experience. But I think at the end of the day, I did enjoy it, but with a sort of a smirk. Yeah. Like, oh, I like that. Kind of thing. Like it was cute. It was neat. It did a thing. But it was very expertly handled.
Yeah.
It certainly was not amateurish by any means. I think everything was done for a reason. And it was just kind of a fun romp for me.
Interesting take.
That beginning it ends on a fun romp, doesn't it?
It does.
Oh my God.
For a character.
Great song choice.
But like
it was
the first half of that, while it was interesting to me, it also felt, did anybody else feel sort of anxious?
The first half.
Just because I've seen so many of that type of movie where a poor kid tries to ingratiate himself into the rich kid life and it goes horribly.
Yeah.
Or gets ingratiated.
They get murdered. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And I wasn't, because there's a similar kind of thing there where somebody just gets drawn into the world without trying to. And sometimes they start and then they try more. Yeah. There's like, I forget which one Talented Mr. Ripley was.
He tried.
He tried?
Yeah, I was actually, I was talking to Sushan last night. I brought up the Talented Mr. Ripley. This feels very Ripley to me.
This is getting close to spoilers.
Yeah.
Right,
no, I'm saying a variety of these stories exist, and
just as far as class is concerned,
just different types of, because I think in the broader category of person is exposed to this world, and there's like 4 or 5 different like kind of patterns. But all of that being said, this one I thought for being similar was still a very original story. And take on that pretty large set where person winds up in grandiose world.
Sam says, every scene I annoyed Noel by asking, OMG, is blank going to blank?
Yeah, I know she's into something. I wasn't going to call you out, Sam, but you did it. This happened with the bear also. Any and every time that there was somebody doing something efficiently, she was like, they're going to get knocked out. They're going to cut themselves. Everything's going to fall apart.
In the beginning of Bear, Sam, in the beginning of the Bear, anytime someone's chopping something, I'm like, oh, they're losing a finger. But I'm like, oh, it's not that type of show.
It's just
they're good at this.
It's a weird level of media literacy that I have, where I knew from like the context of the bear is a good example. The point is to show you how good they are, not how scary they want you to feel. So like and this was kind of the same thing where it's like, oh my God, is they gonna? What's a good example, Sam? I don't even know. Like, oh my God, that person's gonna trip and die. I'm like, it's not. I don't think that's the kind of movie this is.
That would have no meaning in this context.
But to your point, Samantha, which she hates, the atmosphere of the movie though, especially the whole second half when he gets to Saltburn on, there is so much tension, and it's just in the air. It's hot as fuck. The dynamics between the family is undetermined and undecided. The motivations from 4 of the main characters is unknown. And then you have all these new very weird patriarch and matriarch. So yeah, it was all very tense of like, oh my God, is it an occult? Oh my God, is it this? I'm like, I don't think it's that kind of movie, but I hear you.
That's the way I was. Yeah, Sam, I was the same way with that. I was like, this could be anything. Once he gets to Saltburn and starts interacting with the family there, I was like, this could be a cult. This could be some sort of satanic thing.
And they say
people
like
could
2 or 3
be
times.
good, they could be bad. Like none of it was really that clear.
2 or 3 times I marked it where it was, and if you don't like it, you could just leave. And then they mention it 2 or 3 times after that, like nobody wants to leave. Nobody should leave. Don't leave Saltburn. Like, okay. Like they mark it so many times, you're just like, okay, yeah, anxiety.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So
she thought they were vampires at one point.
Right.
Like it was going to become
I didn't know what was going on.
There is one vampire.
He is a vampire in every appearance, right?
Yeah.
I thought so.
The son though.
I kept thinking of the one with Samara Weaving.
I'm not sure who that is.
Ready or Not. I kept thinking Ready or Not. I'm like, is this going to turn into like a Ready or Not situation?
Let's not talk about it.
No, but it's amazing.
Never seen
you would
Ready or
hate it.
Not.
I loved it.
You've never seen it?
Oh no, I adore it. If you've never seen it, though,
I thought you said you've
we're
never
not
seen
going
it.
to talk about any
Okay.
part of it other than the fact that it's good.
All right. So, anything else we want to say before we get into spoilers? Anything we want the people to know
About this?
It's totally worth watching.
about this specifically.
It's available on Amazon Prime. It's totally worth watching.
Yeah. No, I concur.
I also concur.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was Amazon Prime. You know what? This was one of the movies. Amazon Prime was like, you're going to have to pay us $2.99 if you'd like to continue watching without commercials. And I was like, right.
No,
Yeah.
I
got me.
just watched the 30 seconds of commercials before the movie started.
It's only
There's
before.
no interruptions during the movie.
They just told me this today. And then I was like, I'm going to do it. And then Saltburn was one of the movies. And I was like, okay, yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to see commercials in that. There's also Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which looks cool. You know, I'm like, all right.
There's like 3 or 4
like this,
minutes
but
of commercials before the movie
it's
starts.
only
and that's
before.
It. Yeah.
Brian,
Hey.
do you have a subscription to Amazon Prime
Yes.
that you pay for monthly?
I pay for it yearly, I believe.
Or yearly?
Does that matter?
Is anyone else a little annoyed
Yeah.
that you already pay for a streaming service and now they've decided pay us extra because we're going to start showing you
Here's the
trailers.
thing.
That's all
Here's the
streaming
thing.
services.
I know.
That's
Is
how
anyone else annoyed by it?
I mean, everyone's annoyed by
have
it.
been annoyed by
Everyone.
ads since the days of VHS.
Yes.
And right, like I am annoyed by
I
ads.
love previews. What are you talking about?
I love
no,
previews
I'm not
too.
talking about previews. I'm talking about commercials during a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, previews are cool.
Oh, you said VHS. I just assumed I rented a movie and there's previews before it.
I could see. Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
I
sorry.
used to tape my favorite shows,
Since the
and
time
then
of VHSs.
since
Got
the time
you.
of
Got
it,
you.
and then I would watch it back,
Yeah.
so as not to besmirch my experience.
With an ad
ads.
for capitalism.
Yeah, but now those ads would have been awesome.
That's true.
I wouldn't know.
Did you actually try and like pause recording and then catch it back
I would
up?
just fast forward. No, I would just fast forward after, and a lot of times I was out.
Remember TiVo?
I remember its existence.
That was one of my favorite things about TiVo. It was like bloop, bloop, bloop.
Yep.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
And then there it
I
was.
went too far. Shit.
Yeah. I had it down. It was like, if I hit a feel of it. If I hit it here, then it'll stop just on time. Because it takes a second to slow that tape down.
I am so weird. I don't mind commercials. I just don't. Like, it's a time for me to just like breathe. I don't care. Yeah. But as long as the content you're watching functions with commercials. Like if it's a movie that's randomly cut in the middle and they go to commercials, it fucks with the flow.
I hate that.
If it's a television show, they literally have pause breaks and act breaks baked in, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true. They do. And sometimes it's weird when there isn't a commercial. Yeah. And you're like, why are they in a slightly different position?
Like when you're watching something and streaming and it's just like, oh my God. And then they come back right away. Like, oh, I needed a second.
Sometimes tell the story a little bit again.
Yeah.
Especially in older shows.
They'll redo the last line. Yeah. Differently.
But it's annoying. Yes, we already pay for it, but now they don't offer that anymore.
Yeah,
they offer this. It
so
sucks.
Frustrating.
And one day I think commercials won't exist anymore. And then I don't know if we'll be around at that time.
Well, yeah.
That'd be a
because
world.
there'll be no television.
Well, after
we'll be dead.
money is gone.
If there's no television.
You know what I mean?
Once the apocalypse happens.
Maybe there'll still be commercials. They're just not in the middle of what you're trying to watch.
If we get shot into space.
If we're going really fast, then time would pass here and they could develop and we'll come back and they'll be like, among other things, just no commercials.
Yeah.
To your point, the streaming bubble has popped. Everything is like they spent way too much money, way too fast. There are too many streaming services that too many people have to like decide between, and they need revenue, which is connected to like Shudder as well as AMC Plus as well as like it's all incestually mergy shit, and they don't have enough people paying enough things to not have advertisements.
Turns out all these years of all of us going, how is that a sustainable model?
It wasn't.
It's because it wasn't.
These years.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing though. Back before streaming, I remember thinking Arrested Development specifically, and I was like, I would pay $1 per episode to it. Why don't they do that? Right? Why don't they get me to pay?
You can
get rid of the ads. No, that's what I'm saying. Is like that's all right. I'd rather pay than watch ads. You know what I mean?
But you can't. What I'm saying is you can. Like you could just directly purchase that without ads.
Yeah.
But we're opting to have overarching streaming services where that's a content that's available.
That's true. So as opposed to DVDs.
You could go on Apple.
Sorry, Laserdisc.
Sorry, on iTunes.
Like beta? But in disc form.
Like beta.
Okay. You can go on the iTunes shop and it's 99 cents per episode.
Yes.
With no commercials.
That's true.
But this was not at the time. Like you couldn't do that then. Right? Well, they canceled it. And I was like, there's so many people that love it.
Yeah. Oh, just let us pay. Oh, I see.
Right.
And we would buy the DVDs.
I did.
Me too.
No, and then they brought it back.
I'm just saying, like there was always an option for purchasing like a la carte.
Mm-hmm.
And the promise of it all being together for a fee was an empty promise.
So those are our initial thoughts about
that was all about Saltburn.
We're gonna get into spoilers.
I didn't agree with their thoughts that they went into at length about streaming services in the movies. Remember when Jacob Elordi's character had the same argument?
It was after they read the second Percy Jackson. Yeah, it was after
and they were like, but I heard the new one's going to be on Amazon and there's commercials
on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I'm still getting DVDs from Netflix.
Yeah, you really actually could have used the extra 4 hours and maybe just have some of it devoted to that and the rest be the story.
So, spoiler alert, we're going to spoil Saltburn starting now.
Coast is asking us to spoil him.
Oh,
we haven't
here
seen
it is.
Yeah.
Here it is.
What do you want?
So, all right, there's a couple of elephants in the room. There was a couple of scenes. So, and Alice, did you tell me about the graveyard scene?
I did.
Tell me about the graveyard scene.
So, some of the stuff that I was reading, that I kept researching after I saw the movie, I saw that Barry Keoghan. He improv'd that grave scene.
Oh, yeah.
Which makes me wonder, did he also improv the blood scene?
No.
Damn it.
That requires a prop.
Yeah,
that requires a prop and then another willing participant.
Well, I'm sorry. Something that they came up with on the day is what I mean.
Oh,
like maybe him and her.
I wonder if everyone
we did this.
I think this was one of those improvs where everyone was like, the fuck is he doing?
Yeah.
I am not yes-anding.
What?
Get out of that.
You're supposed to leave.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that was something
he apparently asked the director for a closed set and said he wanted to try something and
interesting
proceeded to do that.
I was wondering because at the very end,
I think that's what I read.
He does his little nudie dance, which is in the exact reverse of when Felix takes Oliver.
Oh, I didn't know it was the reverse.
Yeah, it was the exact reverse of like his original tour of Saltburn.
Right.
And I was like, good for him, just flopping his nuts around.
Flipping it around. And the dance was good too.
Yeah.
It was a cool dance.
He fished out and kept the rocks, which was the most
he did what now?
Insane
so the rocks
part.
that they threw
with their
in.
names, he kept
and he put them.
They were
and
all
he
on
put
the
them
stage.
on the dancing machinations toy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the creepiest part. That was awesome.
I'll tell you what. The final scene was. I liked the movie. It would not have been anything of what it was to me without that final scene. That cap, for everything.
Yeah.
And
just
it was a bit of a romp.
It was a bit of a romp.
See?
A romp.
I didn't lie.
I mean, more than a bit, really. Is there anything more romp?
Yeah.
You know? He romped, and
romped.
I loved it. And it was, like I said, it was a cool dance, and it was a very confident, dance of ownership and power, and which is not often the way that nudity is used in film. And I thought it was a really interesting choice, and it made the film, which was already good. It was like that kind of recontextualizes everything that happens. Yeah.
And that song has been stuck in my head forever now.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. On the dance floor?
Murder on the dance floor.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that was also improvised.
Well,
it was his idea. I mean, you have to set up those shots.
Yeah, of course.
But the dance at the end and the
blood
gravesite. No, not the blood.
Oh, not the blood.
The dance at the end.
The blood was in the script. The vampire bit.
Well,
was anybody grossed out? Because I had heard titterings on the internet about certain things in the movie that were like, oh my gosh, my pearls. I best to clutch them.
They rubbed my pearls?
Rub my pearls.
Oh my God.
It's making me rub my pearls.
I don't clutch them.
That's something different, actually.
I don't want to yuck anyone else's yum, but I mean, I wouldn't lick someone's blood off their finger, let alone
my own. I wouldn't even lick my own blood off my.
You don't do that.
That's not
yes,
true.
You do.
I do that.
JD, you don't lick it off. You suck it. Right? Everyone does this.
Let alone
it helps.
Feed someone else's menstrual blood to them before imbibing it myself from the source. So no, I didn't think that was gross so much as like, okay.
Yeah.
You thought it was shock value.
A little bit, yeah. I thought
it was shocking
value.
for sure. You know what I mean? It was, especially delivered in the manner that it was. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's very tense.
I loved the seconds before it and the seconds after it. Yeah. So like, I loved him explicitly, basically threatening her, you're going to eat tomorrow and you're going to stay there and you're not going to go away, which she does anyway, but whatever.
Yeah, no,
I was just going to say, she does leave.
And the shock of the underwater shot of him dipping into the tub with blood on his face. But everything in between, everything in between felt like unnecessary shock value.
Yeah.
You thought so?
Sam C says, for a movie like this, we sure waited a long time to see a floppy D.
That's true.
She did say that. We finished.
We watched. Oh, it's floppy D.
We watched like. Yep.
That was good. That was good. Go ahead.
No, that's what she said in real time.
Yeah, she was like,
I believe it.
And
there was a time when you might have, right? There were a few instances, a few chances when he goes out into the field. Yeah. Everybody's nude.
She was just like,
right? That whole family was really comfortable seeing each other naked.
Yeah.
They were.
Which
and they even like congratulate him.
Yeah.
The big twist. What a twist. That was a cool line. That was a good line.
Yeah. Farley.
So I was more uncomfortable with things like, hey, we're in this field. Everyone has to be naked. And I'm like, I don't think I want to be naked in that particular field.
You do the bathtub.
Didn't look comfortable.
Before that.
But I would do the bad stuff and the menstrual blood before I would like sit in that field.
There's all little bugs, right? Who knows where they're going to go?
There was like thorns and
all sorts of
thistles.
Thistles.
Cold pricklies,
which is also sort of interesting. You know, a prickly and sort of barren, non-growing, but once beautiful field that they hang out. You know, something that is a picture of niceness.
Damn.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, so I wanted this to be longer because I do think that Oliver's turn
Oliver
happens not too quickly, but I just wanted it to breathe more because we go from.
I think I agree with you on that.
We go from his ordinary world, which is this fallacy he created to ingratiate himself to Felix.
Mm-hmm.
He's invited to Saltburn, and then he's having a great ass time with everybody, and then literally overnight, after an indescribable amount of time that's all sped around, he acts weird, just like that. And I almost wanted that to be a slower transition into him becoming more comfortable and owning the control he's starting to like push over on these people. I wanted that to kind of breathe because it was more Machiavellian. It was creepier. It kind of like felt it. And what I was going to say, the spoiler in the trailer itself is just, it looks like crazy, but the quotes from the reviews, to paraphrase, one of the last quotes is like, one of the most engrossing thrillers of the year. I'm like, this sure as shit doesn't look like a thriller.
Yeah.
So now I'm waiting for something
thrilling
to happen. Someone to murder, someone to kill, someone to like cheat and steal. Like I was waiting for something like that. So I kind of was more about the journey than the destination. Yeah. And when we went straight to the destination, I was like, oh fuck. So, okay.
I never have a quick grasp of like the events exactly as they unfold in the film. You had said just before that scene with the vampire, on the bench, that there was a scene before that where he was
Richard
starting
E.
to
Grant,
be
who was in The Little Vampire.
nice. Yeah. Where you said what was the scene before that where he was already creepy?
Mom. He was with the mom in the field alone right before dinner.
That was after the bathtub.
That was the first.
So the bathtub was the full turn. So he. Yeah. At that point, you still just think like he's possibly obsessed, maybe sexually or otherwise, with Jacob Elordi's character Felix. Sees him in the bath, sees him masturbating in the bathtub, drinks the bathtub water. That is weird.
He slurps it off of the bottom of the tub, which is what got me.
Licks the drain.
Because I heard he drinks it. And I was like, oh, that's gross. But like, I can usually deal with gross things. Yeah. And then I saw him like licking and slurping the tub. And I was like, this is too much for me.
And it had a white look to it too. Like the water had
Still up until that point, it could still just be a dangerous fixation.
Yes, for sure.
So up until then, I was just like, oh, he's going to be his own ruin. Yeah. But then the very immediate scene was him being sinister and Machiavellian with the mom, seemingly out of nowhere. And then from that point on, like, oh, he's the villain. Yeah. Like, it seemed like even though we spent an hour and a half establishing all the characters, it still felt like a very quick turn.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I was surprised too. I was like, okay.
I guess I just wanted
going in this direction.
More to breathe. Little things that you could be convinced otherwise, like, well, maybe he's not doing that intentionally, or maybe it's still no, it literally was like that.
Yeah.
He's evil.
You're right.
Well, see, but at that point, I didn't know that whether he was doing this on purpose or if he had been drawn into this world and had been changed. Yeah. You know, because either one of those things is a person finds themselves not from this world, finds himself in this world type of story. And towards the end of the movie, before the final couple scenes, I still didn't know for sure. And I was beginning to suspect that it was the former, where he was a decent kid and he got, you know, enraptured by this stuff and changed. And I was really glad that they went the other way. I thought it was much more original and interesting that he had planned it. I didn't see the bicycle thing coming at all.
Nah. Oh yeah, the entire time it was all a plot. Yeah.
But then how do you square the lying about his whole family?
Well, he wanted to appear, in need.
But it required like months earlier for him to make that decision to start lying and ingratiating himself.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's that whole scene where they're at the pub together and he's there asking, like, Felix is there asking him all these questions, and you can sort of see on his face as he's answering, and Felix is leaning in more and he starts to get more and more
he's
outlandish with his lies.
I wanted. I knew what you wanted.
Yeah, it's the same thing like when he arrives to Saltburn and the very first thing Rosamund Pike does is ask the same type of questions. Yeah. And then Felix is going, Mom, that's so rude. I'm like, you did the exact same thing to this guy. Yeah. But like after, at least weeks of knowing him.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, they were becoming friends.
It wasn't like, hi, let me ask you all these questions.
And in the maze, he even says before Felix gets killed, he says like, I was putting on a show, because this is after Felix found out. He's like, that's what everybody does for you. They put on a show to impress you and to get you intrigued. Yeah. So like it was all just him trying to get into that circle. Yeah,
Sam mentioned in the comments, did anyone notice that the sister and friend cousin kept mentioning you're not unlike the last one? It made me feel like there was a buildup against Oliver.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
For a decent amount of the movie, I thought they were the sinister
one. When are they going to kill him?
Yeah.
And I thought it was also an interesting choice that they are basically, especially the Jacob Elordi's character, Felix, were good. Yeah. You know what I mean? The other ones were, they had issues. They weren't the pillars, someone to model yourself after necessarily, but he seemed to be.
As far
as they weren't good, they just weren't evil.
Yeah.
Right. I think he was actually
he was
good.
The purest character this entire movie is Felix. Yeah. He was a net positive across the board.
Yeah.
Did bad things and recklessly lived his life, but not a shitty bone in his body.
No, took a liking to somebody and tried to help them out and was a true friend of them.
Even the scene where they're driving in the Jeep and he's like surprising him with a visit to his parents' house.
Because he answered the phone and he's like, oh, your mom, like, she seems like she's really cleaning up her act. And
my heart was sinking because I knew immediately. I was like,
something's up.
This is a big lie.
Yeah. And it showcases his goodness probably most at that time. You know what? I thought a little bit more about that field, right? The imagery with them in this field that was beautiful and is kind of dangerous. They're all naked in it, right? It's the only time that they are that kind of happy, which intrinsically, I guess, maybe more vulnerable nakedness, right? That they are amidst this world that is beautiful and dangerous. And he strips and enters that world. And then in the final scene, dances nude throughout it.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. There's a lot of great visuals. And we were talking about the cinematography, and I think one of my favorite bits about the cinematography in this movie is there are scenes in the pubs where they are, someone will be here, and then someone will be all the way down there, and like a whole nother kind of section of the pub. And there's a scene where Ollie is talking to his
math guy,
his friend who sucks, the original friend.
Oh
right?
my God.
Who you very boldly see 2 times and that's it.
Yeah, he's gone.
Very interesting,
but super annoying character.
Yeah.
But
it's so great.
The fact that he survived. Oliver is already sort of kind of in love with Felix, and that the character's right here and he's out of focus and all you see is Felix all the way in the other side of the pub. And it's things like that.
Highlighted.
Yeah. Well, there's scenes where there'll be groups of people and they'll use the focus in such a way that just draws your eye immediately where it needs to go.
Yeah.
It's really well crafted, I think.
Very much so. Yeah. We have not discussed, I think, 2 of the more interesting parts, the first party and the second party. The
Henry party, the Henry's party.
Oh, the Henrys.
Yes, the Henry's party,
They're
which was cool.
Henrys,
very weird, but most of them are.
Yeah.
What a weird thing that could, but often doesn't happen in the world. You know,
rich white guy problems.
Yeah.
They're all Henrys and Johns.
So many Henrys.
Yeah.
And that party was like a touch of weird, you know, in the karaoke scene. Also very powerful gamesmanship, you know what I mean? With this song being the one that he was singing, You Pay My Rent. And
that character, Farley. I was like, Furlough. That's not it. Farley. Yeah, it was the other character.
Yeah. Very interesting.
The American cousin, right?
His
or
mom
Fran. I think they were.
Or no, his dad. His mom was related to Richard E. Grant and married American and moved away. Yes, that was a cousin.
They just knew each other.
Actually, no, it was a cousin.
So
that's why I said the whole family's weird being naked together.
Okay, yeah.
Because he walks into the sister and brother who were like right next to each other naked, and then the cousin's just a little further away. And they're just all chilling naked. I thought it was weird.
A little bit.
Yeah, I haven't seen it often. No.
I tend not to do it.
Not as often as I see a Henry party.
Around.
I'd like
to see them both.
I would totally fuck up a Henry party. That sounds awesome.
What were you saying though?
Oh, well, the first party, which was the Henry party,
and then the second party,
and then the second party also exquisite,
which is the
Midsummer Night's Dream,
Dream,
where they're all dressed as characters from Midsummer Night's Dream.
Sushan said, I keep waiting for him. Ask me a sum. Says Costa. That scene was awesome. Ask me a sum. I'm sorry, go ahead. Sushan was like, someone's going to get stabbed with those horns.
I thought that too.
Someone's getting horn stabbed.
Exactly what my wife said too.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to kill Felix that way.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Too traceable.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a pretty good. I didn't see it at all.
Walking around with him on his head.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is that
Guys, what?
Is that blood?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
It's a testament to this movie, though, that you guys all thought anytime there's a sharp object around, like, oh, someone's going to get stabbed.
Yeah.
Like,
in my line of work, we see it often.
Antlers?
Tripping on antlers?
Yeah. All the time.
I was tripping on antlers.
All the time.
Yeah.
Every day we see that.
But what a clever way of killing someone, the poisoning and then drinking it too and having a perfectly good reason to vomit.
Oh, did we talk about this on air? He wasn't poisoned.
It was cocaine.
It was cocaine.
He overdosed, and that's how Farley got blamed for it.
Yeah, because I thought it was poison too.
Because Farley brought the cocaine to the party.
And so, he steals the cocaine from Farley.
He was poisoned with cocaine.
Yes.
But it was cocaine.
It was cocaine.
I did not.
He died of a drug overdose.
Oh, I thought he got some poison. And he was like, I'm going to have him drink this.
No.
Pretty sure.
Because I thought the reason it came up is afterwards I'm going, I realized that these are insanely rich people.
Right.
And they rarely see consequences to their actions. Literally, they'll close the curtains so they don't see the consequences to their actions.
God, that scene.
That scene's amazing. But I was like, not a single constable was like, hey, this guy's been poisoned. Maybe we should research some. You guys want to check this murder out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, I think this guy was murdered. He's all this poison.
Poison parties.
And then, and then Sushan was like, oh no, it was cocaine. And he just thought it was an overdose.
That's very clever.
Like, this guy's a smart guy.
He thought it all out.
Cocaine and champagne. Sam asked, can it be poison if it's watered down?
Can it poison you if it's watered down?
I think you can still, he had already been doing cocaine. Because they saw him in the bathroom store and stuff.
That's right.
So I think it was like the tipping point.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
With the alcohol.
And alcohol, and he probably finished that bottle, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot in there.
But what a great way to
Felix.
sort of throw him off his own scent. It was by vomiting.
Right.
Yeah, just like making himself seem even weaker of like he can't even handle his alcohol, but really he was just vomiting up the cocaine.
The cocaine, right. It was a great, and to raise no suspicions, no alarms. There was also,
go ahead, no.
There was a minotaur in the middle of that labyrinth, which is where the minotaur
Greek
is, right?
mythology, everybody. Yes.
If you notice, there are bulls and minotaurs all over that movie.
Yes, and if you notice, Felix had golden wings, which so did Icarus, who was the son of Daedalus, who constructed the labyrinth, who also met a tragic fate.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And on a previous podcast of this podcast, I think I mentioned how I think Daedalus is one of extremely early science fiction story, right? Icarus.
Yes.
It's not magic. It's not the gods. He, through technology, does what to them they're like, just like we think maybe this will make us go at warp speed. Yeah. So like maybe if I made a set of wings,
I could fly.
Right? Science fiction. Unless they didn't think it was fiction.
Yeah. I thought it was true.
Yeah.
Also, the Minotaur's dick was out. And then his dick was out.
Was that the same show that we were talking about the difference between like high concept and what was it? High fantasy. You said high fantasy at one point, and I was like, "What the fuck is high fantasy?"
Oh no, it was a different show, but that was a good conversation too about high fantasy and
like how do you describe these modifiers?
Oh, one of the nice little nods is so they go to throw. Oliver lies about his dad's death, and so fucking Felix, sweetheart that he is, like tells him about his family's. What is it? It's a ritual that they do where they write the name and they throw it in the water, and then he throws it and it lands in vomit.
Misses.
Right.
Yeah, misses.
Yeah. I had not remembered that at the time.
I know.
Body of water.
We had to rewind it. I was like, what just happened? And then
vomit.
We don't see him throw anything throughout the rest of the movie. Maybe that's what happens when he really tries to avoid throwing stuff.
Maybe I was going to say maybe that's the origin of his evilness. He's just like a shitty thrower of things and just like constantly made fun of and
he's hitting the wrong guy and
sociopath and tries to It was when he tried to play catch with his father for the first time and just hates them for the rest of his life.
Yeah. For no reason.
Yep.
Takes it out on him.
Because he can't throw for shit.
I'll
Friends.
Yes.
Dylan texted me. He never does this.
Why?
Dylan, our producer, texted me earlier today. He goes, I am so excited that you guys are talking about Saltburn.
He didn't text me about it.
So Dylan,
I feel like I don't always I haven't always seen the things that you guys watch.
Sure.
No, my point isn't that you texted me. The point is that
My point was that
you were excited.
Yeah.
So you watched the film?
I did.
And what did you think?
I thought it was a good film. Yeah. I don't know if it's. I feel like me and Noel were talking about it a little bit before you guys got here, and we've seemed like on the same page. Like,
I come early.
It was a good movie. I walked away from it like, that was good. I don't know if I'd revisit it. I like the twist. I like how weird it was.
The twist being
when you find out Barry Keoghan's intentions the whole time.
Right at the end.
Right at the end, like when they show you the bike.
I got you.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah. Right. Like I thought that was awesome and like unexpected. Like I thought like, oh yeah, maybe he has some ulterior motives, but I didn't realize they ran that deep.
Yeah.
Well, because they really start out with you thinking, just like last year's to be tossed aside kind of guy. You start out thinking that he's the victim, and then it progresses to maybe not.
Which is usually what you think of in these types of movies that are speaking on class and privilege like that.
Right.
But like, no, it just completely took a little different turn, and I feel like a lot of people were just sort of. I feel like the grave scene and the bathtub scene sort of shrouded a lot of people's impressions of the movie. They're like, "This is crazy. This is the weirdest, most effed up movie I've ever seen."
It's not that weird.
So much.
Like,
right.
No,
there's weirder things in that movie.
Right?
It is weird, but overall, like I thought it was solid.
Nice.
Awesome.
Very good movie. Really
Great.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You were about to say something, Brian, before I cut you off.
It just the starkness of the movie. It was something that now that I think about it, I was like, that really aptly describes a decent portion of the feel of the this stark remove that you have. I liked it. If you were about to wrap up,
someone on the show had said something about like they didn't like the reveal.
The reveal
of like him having set these things in motion.
Right. Are you doing the tack in the tire?
Well, that was the tack in the tire.
I was okay with it. I just like by then, after feeling like we spent no time on the turn, it almost rolled my eyes a little, and I thought just like, oh, it's like Thomas Ripley. That's cool.
Oh
like,
yeah.
It wasn't like this sucks. It was more like, meh.
This was just on your mom's house, but they only talked about the male nudity. What?
It's Terry talking about another podcast. Hey, I wanted
your
to
mom's
look
house
up,
as a podcast.
I wanted to look up really quickly if this is a eat the rich trope, and it's not. According to because that's more like a destroying the rich. Emerald Fennel says that it's more lick the rich and suck the rich kind of a movie, not necessarily an eat the rich kind of a movie.
Nice.
So it's class satire,
also fuck the grave of the rich
and get all their stuff.
It's class. It's class satire.
Does that work?
No, fuck it.
Class satire.
It's class satire without. I forgot my point. It's fine. Moving on.
Okay.
So that was your point. I thought it was interesting. Oh, okay.
Anything else? Did we do it?
I want to talk about the scene in the tub.
Let's talk about it.
Venetia.
Yeah.
Oh, the scene in the I forgot. Thank you.
Yeah.
She's my favorite part of this movie, actually. That bit of monologue.
I'm going to admit
good.
When I was like Googling stuff about the movie, I found a which character are you quiz, and I got Venetia. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't know if I would have liked
what
anybody.
Color is your hair?
It was literally the worst quiz.
Do you enjoy your own menstrual
blood? Do you like to take baths? Like,
does your name start with a V, or could you see it starting with a V?
Do you want it to start with a V?
That's one of those things where I was like, that acting is so good.
Really? Oh my God, the scene with both of them in the tub, but then like the quick shift later when you find out she's dead to you get that quick shot of her dead in the tub filled with blood, and she is like gray.
Yeah.
That was just so shocking.
Now, as someone who works in the field, in the blood field, how is the blood in this movie? Would a blood tub look like that?
Not any blood tubs that I have seen.
Okay.
But I've never seen somebody entirely bleed out.
I feel like you would have to have a way more blood to fill a tub of blood.
They're very rich.
Yeah.
That's very rich blood. When they say it's a little too rich for my blood,
all the blood
it's not too rich for her blood.
No.
Hey, Noel just took that quiz. He's Felix.
Oh, nice. That's tops.
I'm the blood. I'm the blood in the movie.
What an interesting addition to the quiz.
Yeah. You're the menstrual blood.
The whole character. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Which blood are you?
Specifically the menstrual blood.
I'm the menstrual blood.
There's like several bloods that you might be.
So, continue talking about
Venetia. Quiz real quick.
No, but I was trying to think of that if that was like a realistic depiction of what a dead person who entirely bled out looks like, but I have actually never seen that in real life. But she looks like waxy.
Yeah.
But like that happens sometimes with dead people. They look a little waxy.
Well, I mean, it was also like it looked like it was just colored tub water for a like it wasn't like all blood. It was just
but it still shocked me. Like I was like, oh, it was
through.
Yeah, it was a beautifully shot.
Yeah.
Did he
like grotesque scene?
Sort of,
He put the razors there. Did he just incited her to do it, or he did it himself?
I'm Oliver Quick.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
The wait is over. My friends are coming over.
Brian.
Yeah.
You just want a chill night with those you can trust. So grab the popcorn and drinks and have some fun.
Wait, I screenshotted what my Venetia quiz was.
Oh, I'm doing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all taking the quiz. My Venetia said, it's literally just a sentence. No one knows much about you. You may not be the most balanced person.
Oh, nice.
That's almost
I didn't
insulting.
actually read.
It is.
I didn't actually read the.
Hey, wait a minute.
The description of.
Do you remember your answers?
Well, it was.
Yeah,
I do remember.
Sam C says, JD, no, that tracks. I'm the sociopath who kills an entire family.
All right, you have to be honest. Have you drank Noel's tub water before?
Only twice.
Was this for a party? Is it just twice?
Only twice.
I mean, it wasn't in the tub.
Oh.
I took it out of the toilet.
You put it in the bottle? Like
It's
I wanted
toilet
with the Jacob Lordy thing? Yeah.
YUNKJunk Instagram is going to have a hard time finding a proper clip for this episode. That tracks. My boyfriend's boyfriend.
I'm your boyfriend's husband.
Her husband's boyfriend.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
I'm your husband's boyfriend. I was surprised that Farley made it out of this movie unscathed, considering
he got framed for Felix's death, but yeah.
Sure,
but like,
but
not
no,
prison time,
I get it. Yeah, that's
the way that he treated Oliver.
He got a good handy.
back
He was the scapegoat. He made it out
That's
alive.
true, and it had a whole psychosexual thing going on.
Yeah. He had a psychosexual thing going on with a couple people.
I don't know any of these songs.
So this was. That's a really good. That's a really good point. That's one of the reasons. What's one of the things that made me think. Or I started to rolled my eyes a little bit, right? With the reveals at the end.
Yes.
Because they were doing that like speed round of the tire and this, and he did this, and he's killing the mom. Part of me thought it was going to be a Farley walks in and shoots him in the head, kind of a thing.
Oh, that's not the one
I thought
which because it all became very formulaic in the last.
What am I wearing?
3 or 4 minutes, I was like, and then Farley walks in and shoots him.
I think you look.
So I had the same exact thought.
Oh, you're Farley,
but not Farley. I thought it was going to be the butler.
Oh yeah, Duncan.
I thought it was going to be Duncan.
Wait, I loved Duncan. He just showed up all the time.
I don't know. You guys are off in your own world.
Sorry. Yeah, that's what I was going to pick.
Are you helping him with his own quiz?
No, I was just telling him which you have to pick a dress that you'd wear at a party, and I thought he'd look good in the black one.
The black one. The black one is nice, and I appreciate that.
You picked the red one. That's beautiful.
It's got stuff going on with it, which I thought was
cool.
cool.
The butler with the gun in the long
black
room.
tie. This is a cocktail party.
Like a little avant-garde.
Yeah, a little bit.
What's the quiz result?
Oh, Farley. Oh, that was you too, right?
No, he
you
was
were
Felix. Read
Farley?
what's the description?
Yeah, right?
We all got different fucking characters.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's just probably a random.
You know what's nice though is I'm the one at the end who gets to dance around with my dick out.
That's true.
And I'm the.
You guys are all in graves.
I could do that in the middle.
I mean, I burned out, but I burned bright.
That's true. And you were the best guy in the movie.
I lived a hell of a goddamn life for like a 22-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah. And clearly like the good person. Oh, you're Farley. Potentially the greatest person in the movie, not seen contextually, but we all knew that he was nothing like he saw on screen.
Yeah. Oh no, he worked at
really cool.
Yeah.
And all of this was like kind of just a weird weekend for him where he's play acting. It's weird that they would know that. How does what is this, BuzzFeed? Yeah.
BuzzFeed is so wise.
What does it say? All right, let's see here. It's time to get your dance moves ready and turn on the karaoke. Oh, I've turned on actually I haven't. I've sung when they said you can sing now. I don't think I've turned it on. Maybe I have. And your friends are expecting some fun. I don't know what that has to do with me. So maybe I can help.
Farley was the worst.
Go on and sing at the top of your lungs.
They really focused on the singing part of his character. Yeah.
What song did you pick?
What song did I pick? Fire for You by the Cannons.
I put She-Wolf.
I put
She-Wolf too.
By Shakira.
Rush was a strong choice, but then I was thinking of the band Rush.
I thought that too.
Troye Sivan. All right.
Wally West likes Rush. JD.
Just I'm probably going to rewatch that Venetia tub scene at least one more time.
Sure.
It's
Google
so
imaged it just because I wanted to like look at it again to look at the colors and be like, okay, did I see what I thought I saw?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean the blood water.
Oh, the blood one. I'm sorry.
Her when she's acting.
I'm just a morgue worker who was like, let me look at the crime scene.
But that was a beautiful scene.
It was. It was like grotesque and lovely. But no, that scene where she's, oh my gosh.
Stranger fucking danger.
Yeah.
This is such a boring description.
Yeah, she knows, right?
Congrats.
She knows he is
Everyone heard
bad.
You're Felix Catton. I didn't know that was their names.
Felix the cat.
Cat.
I've been thinking of that this whole time.
Congrats. Everyone heard about
So we
the
mentioned
epic
it
party
earlier
you're
in the
throwing.
show.
Hurry up and finish the final touches. People are on their way. Have fun. He is insipid.
Yeah.
I got that. I'm unbalanced. So
I want to rewatch the final scene.
Yeah, the dance.
Yes, that scene, like
The floppy
it was
D.
so good, and like
That
the music
floppy
was
D.
good, the dance was good. It was just
Yeah.
a cool scene, and like I said, I mean, it was like it made the movie, even though the rest of it was good too.
It's like
It was-
it's a scene that just directly came out of a director's cut of The Eternals of Druig dancing
right.
around.
I forgot
Oh, he
that,
was
and
in
they're like,
that.
"How do we get to this moment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What story can we craft to get to the dance?"
It was
stick
reverse
scene?
engineered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, guys.
Such a good movie.
cool.
We
Yeah.
did it. We're
Yes.
done.
did it.
Alice,
Nice to meet you.
thank you.
Alice, you did it.
Did it. I also just want to say you guys are my number 2 streamed podcast on Spotify.
Oh,
My
is the first
Spotify
one
Wrapped.
your own podcast?
Live a better
What?
life.
No, my fourth was my own podcast.
Oh, okay.
First was the Office Ladies podcast.
What do you listen to more
nice.
than yourself? What's number 3?
Number 3 was Dimension 20 D&D podcast.
Oh, okay.
And then
Alright.
yeah,
And then the Office Ladies.
Office Ladies was number 1.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a cute one.
Yeah.
Hey,
tell
have you?
tell the people. Shut up. Tell the
All right.
people about your show.
Oh, so yeah, I am a forensic autopsy technician. And my co-host and friend is as well. And we have a podcast called Inside the Morgue. And what we do each week is we watch a different crime, like procedural or forensic show, like your classics like CSI, Law and Order, NCIS. And we basically just like rip them apart for what they get right, but we do, or what they get wrong, but we do.
Yeah.
What a weird bone to pick.
They're too accurate.
Can let that information out there.
Right?
The guild will be
accurate,
after you.
yeah.
They're giving away all our secrets, and no, they're what they get wrong, and we give them credit for what they get right, and then we talk about a little true crime
Mm.
that the episode's based on, because they all say this isn't based on a true story, but they all kind of are. Yeah, and we even watched some movies. We watched some scary movies like Autopsy of Jane Doe. Very
That, a
good.
two-parter.
Two-parter.
The Autopsy of Jane Doe. Awesome. What a great. I love both of those
thank you.
episodes. That
I'd
was
get to see
awesome.
that
That was
movie.
probably my favorite one to record.
The
That
movie
a lot
was
of fun.
great and the podcast was great.
Movie is a good movie.
Nailed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What movie was it that we had like not exactly a crossover, but you had just watched whatever we were watching, and I think you wrote
Five Nights
in
at Freddy's.
right.
Five Nights at
Because
Freddy's.
we watched that together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Definitely needed a coroner's perspective for that movie.
Yeah. I can't say I've
Couldn't
ever
hurt.
seen someone get chomped by an animatronic, but
Yet.
yet.
There's still
You
time.
know, yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
Anyone building those?
Robin Monroe Jr. asks, when's Alice coming back? And CMC doubled up on that. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I want to come back. So the reason I'm usually never been a guest before is because I'm usually recording my own podcast
Oh, on
at the same
Wednesdays.
exact time. But I'd
Lame.
love to come
Any
back.
chance of moving?
You're welcome
I mean,
anytime.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk to Jess, but
Now, do you guys work together?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
it. I was just
yeah.
wondering.
Yeah, we work together,
Yeah.
doing
And
autopsies.
That symbol that Sam did, it means I agree with the thing above this.
It's like
This.
Is that
this.
right?
Yeah.
Why don't they give us an arrow? That would be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, she probably could have. I don't know what the options for emoji are in this chat.
No, it's fine. I mean, I get it.
All right.
Maybe
Yeah.
she did an arrow, and that's just how it.
Oh, it's true.
It's probably like a little
Maybe.
question mark box.
It
And you're
read
like,
as a carrot.
why
We
are you
don't know.
questioning
Yeah.
this?
You know what?
You should be happy.
Cheers.
Punch in another one.
Let's cheers.
Let's
Cheers.
We did it, guys.
We
Clang,
did.
clang, clang, clang.
Just as a side arrow. Oh, also, wait, can I shout out? You
I
can
agree
follow
with the
us
time.
on at Inside the Morgue Pod, POD, because at Inside the Morgue was taken by someone.
What are they up to?
I don't know. They only had 90 followers. And
You didn't check it out?
They were private. They didn't accept my request.
Whoa.
They're
And
probably like,
ironically,
Private
they only
inside
broadcast
the
from
morgue.
outside the morgue.
Yeah.
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 or they're inside the morgue and I haven't found them yet.
It's a podcast.
It's true.
It's a podcast for people locked in a morgue.
There you go. You got your
There
arrow.
you go.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
very nice. Thank you.
nice.
All right,
Good job,
guys.
Sam.
Thank you so much, and we'll
Sure.
talk at you later. You did it.
YUNKJunk!